What's everybody? What's everybody? You're everybody, and welcome. This is part 2 in our series of Quadra. It's a 3-part series of a 4-part synth. The last video, which I dropped yesterday, was just an overview of the plugin. This one, we're going to be talking about making a patch in Quadra, and then the video that I will drop tomorrow is about making a whole song with Quadra. So make sure to press that subscribe button and that bell to get notified when that video drops. Anyway, let's get into it. That was lame. Let's just start with one section. Let's build our strings section. So we're just gonna disable the other sections. So we're just working on strings over here initially. Very quiet. Strings are very quiet. Oh, because we only have our strings bass on. So here you'll see you can disable certain elements. So here on the strings, neither the 8 or the 4-foot range is selected. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on 8. You can do both if you want to, or just one or the other. You can also turn the strings bass on and off. Let's lower the octave here. Just turn the bass down. Here you can shift up and down the octave of the string section, but it still retains the original bass note, whatever your note is. All right, now let's see if we can liven up these strings with some poly. And what we're actually gonna do here is we're gonna utilize the split. So I'm gonna have the poly be on the higher end of the keyboard and the strings be on kind of a mid to low range. So we'll go ahead and hit learn on the strings, hit my low note, and then hit my high note. We'll kind of we'll go just under middle C. Okay, and then now we go to our poly and we'll do the same thing. So we're gonna hit our low note and hit our high note. We'll just go to the end. So now we'll turn we got our poly on here. So now when I play the lower notes, lower half of the keyboard, I got strings. On my higher half, I got my poly. The strings is triggering up high because the bass needs to also be set, I think, at the same range as the other one. There we go. Now we just got poly up there. Because even though the strings bass, the volume knob only applies to strings, it is in the bass section, so the bass for the strings is controlled by the bass range as well. Let's make our poly sound more exciting. And you'll notice, so I'm using a launch pad here, so as you'll notice that under the touch sensor, which is the aftertouch, you'll get some sound. So when you play your chords, it'll sound funny, and if you're using an aftertouch controller, you'll probably notice that you kind of get some funny sound. That's because down here in the touch sensor, there's poly synth depth, lead synth depth, and there's a destination for pitch bend or volume brilliance. By default, a lot of patches, these are set to the middle point, I've noticed. So you'll start playing and everything will sound wonky. You can just turn these down, and that'll help, and you can even just switch these off of pitch bend. And then you don't have to worry about the pitch bend being impacted at all. So because our poly is playing high, naturally it'll be higher, but we can obviously change the poly range so that even though we're playing higher notes, it's only playing lower poly. So we could turn off the high of 4. So that way it's not playing too high, kind of dial it into how you want it. We can re-trigger the envelope to either single or multi, so that basically just dictates whether when you press a new note, whether it restarts the envelope again or continues it from where it was before. All right, let's see how these sound together now. Okay, so that's the sound. The strings are a little quiet, so we're gonna let's turn the bass of the strings up a little bit. And then let's just overall turn the poly down. Poly's really still aggressive. Let's turn the poly down even more. And because we're working pretty quietly, we'll turn the master of the track of the whole plugin up. See, it's kind of peaking there. We'll go down a little bit. Just keep an eye on this output level. You don't want to obviously peak this, and it'll sound crackly. Obviously, it'll clip like anything else if you're too loud. Okay, so now we got some sounds going. So now I want to apply some effects here. So only the poly is currently receiving chorus flanger. I'm actually going to turn the chorus on for the strings as well. The strings have their own like under the hood chorus that's always running, but you can hit it with more just to give it some more bang. Make it real big. And now we're going to bring in the third element, which is the lead. And the lead, I also want the same range as the poly, which we have here. So let's go ahead and turn our lead on. Okay, so with the lead, you see here we have a note priority, just like most things do. So you can actually set the priority of where your lead notes are going to play. In this case, because it's my lead, I'm just going to leave it as the high note. That way, as I'm playing any chords, it'll just be playing automatically as the high note. So if I'm playing a 1-3-5 chord, my fifth will be my lead. And then similarly, if I decide to play a chord with my poly, I can play higher up with my lead. And then as I release, it'll just go back to the next highest note, which is the end of my chord. Okay, so right now the lead is on a sawtooth. We're just gonna change it here to square. We'll just do one of them square. We're actually gonna turn the second VCO off and just stick with one for now. And we're going to create some pulse width modulation with this. So down here, you'll see there's a pulse width mod, ADSR or LFO. Let's leave the pulse width on LFO, and then we can come over here to our LFO section. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so now our lead has some more character. The lead has no effects applied to it. Let's go ahead and add an echo to our lead. So in the echo section, you got just, your basic time. You have regen, which is how much feedback is thrown back into it. So with regen all the way up and dampening down, regen will just keep playing that same note. So we'll turn regen to kind of a midpoint, and we'll also turn dampening up, and dampening will just gradually cut. Every time it's fed back into it, dampening will just kind of cut off a layer of highs, so it kind of goes away. Okay, and we'll also turn a phase shifter onto our lead as well. And you can choose your mod source for this. Kind of getting some fun sounds. Now let's go ahead and also add some reverb onto our strings section, just to get the strings some more action as well. Now let's just kind of jam with this and see what we've made. So just in no time, we've whipped up like a multi-part patch that has a lot of depth to it. I mean, it covers the full range. We got bass, mids, and highs all in one sound. And of course, we can route that to our multi-outputs and then just record the audio of that. And then we can go in and change what we want to each one of these individual sections if we wanted to add some more sound design to each one of these. Let's go ahead and save this preset. We're going to call it Magic Fun Time. And of course, it's really easy to save your own presets with these Cherry Audio plugins, as with most plugins. I will eventually have a preset pack for this, as well as a bunch of other plugins as well. I'm working on all kinds of stuff. There will eventually be a music store that I have where you can go and purchase all kinds of fun stuffs for various presets for Ableton, for specific individual instruments, MIDI packs, all that kinds of stuff. Working on getting that sussed out. If it's something you're interested in, subscribe to this channel, obviously hit the bell. I also have a free music theory cheat sheet which like you sign up with your email and you get the cheat sheet. So you'll be on the email list, and then you'll also get notified of when the store drops if you want to be notified that way as well. But anywho, that's the end of part 2. Tomorrow I will drop the third part, which is building a full track with Quadra. And it's going to be pretty fun. I already got the track recorded because this was already a video that was a long video I turned into 3 videos. So anyway, be sure to look out for that. If it's already past tomorrow, then the card will appear here along with part 1. So watch out all those things and have fun. And maybe buy Quadra. Link down below. Not affiliate. Just fun.